Okay, so one of our major projects this year is gutting this building that was a stable and turning it into something resembling a barn. There's going to be a garage door put right here, so you can see that thanks to a tree that grew right here, it's pushed all this wall in. So what we're going to do is peel all this crap off so I can finish pulling that stump out. And then we're going to put the garage door in here. But I figured I'd give you a little before. And then we can have a little after. See what kind of treasures we find in the attic of here too, because it's all full of stuff. Okay, so what I was not hoping to find is, I guess, years and years of them leaving the straw and crap in here around the walls, and also the horse crap. Anybody want mummified turds? Because of that, this lower sill plate here doesn't exist anymore. And it's also rotted all the bottom of the wall out and all the 2x4s. So I'm kind of hoping that when I peel the rest of the inside off that I don't find that. But got an opening here anyway. Now everything's all not in good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 2 more pieces of plywood off the wall here. I'm going to get a bunch of new 2x4s. A bunch of pressure treated plywood. And we're going to replace everything that's rotten basically. And then we're going to finish taking this son of a bugger of a stump out. We're going to clean all this stuff out. And we're going to relocate our little friend the snake here. Right? Yeah. He's just a garter snake. He doesn't hurt nothing. So those right there are wild raspberries. As you can see, there's quite a few of them growing here. Some of them a fair size too. They're all in here. And actually further out back there's another patch. Let's see if I can find one that's close enough I can walk into without getting stabbed by everything and its brother. Oh yeah, here's some smaller ones here. So, right here. So you can see, my phone focuses. Yep, they're delicious. Like I said, delicious. So, been working all over the place here at the farm, up to and including down the back of the property here. So I'll give you a little tour. Okay, this is my current disaster. Got my little dump trailer down here. So far, it and I have taken 3,000 pounds to the dump. So we got all the old paddocks out. And as you can see, I've got it all open here now. And gone ahead and gutted the building now. There was a robin. She's got a nest up there with a little feller in it. There was 2, and then unfortunately I come out here this morning and found both of them on the ground. And the one guy, he didn't make it. The other little fella who you can see up there, kinda, see his little head moving around. I was able to put on some gloves and gently put him back in the nest, and she seems to be not too bothered by the fact that I did that. But anywho, so we got all kinds of plywood and lumber that I've bought to build another wall here. And that goes up to include, we've also got some insulation and plastic to put on it. And then yesterday I found a local fella here who had a whole bunch of sheets of plywood. They're not full sheets, but you know what? We'll take what we can get, especially when the price is real good. So what we're going to do is we'll insulate it, we'll sheet it. I got this wall's a little hinky here, so it's been displaced. What I'll do is I'll wrap a chain around it in the back of the truck, and I'll pull it back square, and then we'll we'll restructure it a little bit. But basically the grand plan here is, this is where we're going to put a garage door, right? So I'll put a garage door on this end and reframe that in. And we'll fix the walls the best we can. And yeah, we can use it to store stuff in. Not really particularly going to use it to store cars, but I am going to use it to store parts and maybe the tractors and stuff in the winter and whatever, you know. Grand plan out back here is, once I get all this dealt with, I'm going to level this all up and basically spread out, I don't know, probably 40 ton of crushed asphalt. And we'll build a lot out the back here to be able to park the trailers and the cars for now until we can build another barn or something. That'll at least get them so they're not in the dirt. And yeah. So we've been working on clearing all the crap out of here. I had a mini excavator here a few weeks ago to do the culvert, so I took out the tree stump that was here. And I took the ones out that are over basically right where beside the dump trailer. So all those stumps are gone. And then I've been slowly, well, with the tractor and the bush hog, I've been out cutting trails. And I've been working on cutting myself a nice little path around here so that if you're hauling a trailer, you don't have to back it down here. You can just turn around. And what else? Get all that pallet racking I've got to put in the barn. And we got the tilt trailer that'll get fixed. And I walk down here. Been working on mowing these fields. Getting all this nice and cleared out, right? That's actually an apple tree there, that little tree that's on the right. And so is the one on the left, not the one in the center. The one in the center is it's a walnut tree, actually. So there's those two apple trees there. And then if you look straight up the center here, that's an apple tree as well. This one over here, I trimmed this tree up. It needs more trimming still, but it's getting there. And I've got, oh, this is mowed back now too. And what else? That all mowed down. Let me take a quick wander here and I'll show you the culvert. Today I was moving around big stones to put beside it so we kind of know where it is. I mean, I know where it is, but somebody else was coming down here, they might not. Especially if it was dark or something, and well, that just sounds like a bad sign. Alright. So there's all the soil I took out. And there's the great big frickin' stones I dug out of the front yard and moved back here. And there you go. So put a culvert in here so that we don't end up with everything washed out like we've been having for all through spring there. Yeah, and someone may or may not have dropped a rock on the culvert, but you know what? I bought used culvert anyway, and as long as the water goes in it and pops out the other end, I'm not too worried about it. And I've been over here with the tractor too. Started cutting through here and knocking down everything. Right, so basically, if we wander through the field here a little more, I'd like to cut more of that back, to be honest with you. The only thing is I've never walked it over there, so I don't know if there's any stumps or anything to hit with the tractor, which is why I've been reluctant to do it yet. But basically, we're where that tree is, and kind of in this area here, is where I want to put my shop. Basically right in there. That's the grand plan anyway. But that won't be happening for a little while anyway. But we can start getting all this crap knocked down and cleared out in the next year or so anyway. Okay, so with all that leveled up and everything down there, I can now take and scoop up this big pile of crap here and start spreading and building our road back. I went with crushed asphalt because of the fact that once it kind of sits for a while in the sun, it basically turns back to asphalt again. It's very, very stable stuff, right? And it's kind of inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. So I'll spread it out so there's about 4 inches. I'll go about 8 feet wide, the driveway all the way down. And it should put us in a pretty good position. So you can see I have a million little projects on the go around here. I gotta top up the oil in the tractor. I gotta get a tire for my bush hog. I actually have an 8N hydraulic system here to put in my tractor to make it a little more useful. So at least then you get position control. I got my finish mower, which I gotta straighten that wheels. Well, like the arm that it's on, it needs straightened out, and I gotta sharpen the blades and everything. Get that done. And then, I don't know. It's probably going to be August before I get to working on my little truck, which sucks, but you know what? That's life. You know, I only get so many months a year where the weather's good enough to do stuff around here. So the more of it that I get done this year, the less of it I have to do next year. And at some point here, we're going to have a conversation about Mopar B engines. Because as you can see, I have quite the collection of them here. So we're going to go through the differences and measure some stuff. So that'll be another video. Probably do the same thing with 727s because I got a couple of them too. Yeah. So I know, a little bit disappointing for those of you that would like to see the S10 back in action, but unfortunately, that's life. So hopefully you come back and see us when we're working on the S10. Hopefully some of my other videos might be of interest to you too. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.